morning, everyone. Grand rising to each and every one of you. We welcome you, those of you here in the sanctuary and those of you who are joining us online. We are so excited to have you to share in this consciousness together. And we're going to start with our opening affirmative prayer. We truly are grateful for the opportunity to express life. We recognize God as the source of our lives. We recognize that this presence and power we call God fills this sanctuary. It expresses as every aspect of this Sunday morning service. And we know that each one of us, is, excuse me, an expression of that one. We open ourselves to receive the divine imprint of God's message this morning. And we rise to that understanding of who and whose we are, sons and daughters of the one. And so we are grateful for this experience. And in the spirit of gratitude, I release my word, knowing that it is our absolute experience this morning. I rejoice and I give thanks that all this is so, and so it is. And we now will pool our voices in our chant. How could anyone ever tell you that you are anything less than beautiful? Moments of reflective silence. And so it is. And now we ask you to rise so that we can pool our voices together in our prosperity affirmation. Together. God is lavish, unfailing, abundant prosperity. The source of all good is infinite and inexhaustible. I unify with and place my faith in the one true source. My life is already blessed, yet I am being offered so much more. Infinite potential, unconditional love, and unlimited spiritual growth are just a few of Spirit's gifts. I am open to receiving them all with gratitude and joy. The God power made me in its image and likeness, out of itself, and it wants only to support me. Its plan is to lift me into higher expression. Deep in my heart, I know I deserve all the good things in life. and my acceptance of the support of the universe is all that is necessary for it to continue its work in my life. I deserve true abundance and unconditional love. I deserve vibrant health and good feelings. I deserve happiness, peace, and joy. I deserve prosperity, freedom, and ease in my financial affairs. I deserve to have all dreams come true. My heart is filled with gratitude for all that I have been given and for all that is yet to come. I release my word to the law of divine mind that always says yes, and so it is. Please be seated. And now I'd like to invite our young people to come forward. Yes. Awesome. Come. Liam. Yes. Awesome. And as we light the youth candle, I declare that there is one life. That life is my life now. Divine intelligence guides, uplifts, and nurtures all beings, especially the youth, who are the promise of a new world. May all youth worldwide walk in the awareness of their spiritual magnificence, and so it is. And Shevani has lit the youth candle. Oh.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning, Shevani.
I light this candle on behalf of all the youth of the world. Let us behold the Christ in them.
And so it is. And we say together the blessing. We love you. We appreciate you. We salute the Christ in you. And see you as shining lights onto your world. God is blessing you now. And so it is. And we're going to sing our mission song. The temple of light, the temple of light, the temple of light. We are a people with a vision, one with spirit on a mission. To touch, to heal, to bless, to prosper, to love and liberate anyone who comes into contact with us, anytime, night or day. The temple of light, the temple of light, the temple of light. We are a people with a vision, one with spirit on a mission. To touch, to heal, to bless, to prosper, to love and liberate anyone who comes into contact with us, anytime, night or day. Yeah. Reverend Anna, are we in big church this morning? All right, everyone is in our sanctuary this morning. Friends, we have a few brief announcements and reminders. We'd like to welcome those of you joining us online and those of you who might be visiting for the first time. And especially we send a big open heart Temple of Light greeting to Father Richard Holong and the Brothers of the Missionary of the Poor. We're so glad to have you here this morning. And the brothers would like to share that they're going to be having a very, very special show. What is the name of the show? Jesus 2025. And we have tickets on sale. They're a special deal. 4 tickets for $6,000. These days you can't get a show for ticket for a show for under $3,500. So this really is special. And it's perhaps a save the date because this is in September, correct? So it's September 27th and 28th. And, special tickets for 2,000, 4 for 6,000, okay? And of course, there are 2 weekends in October as well, so save those dates. September 27th and 28th, October 4th and 5th. And we will have tickets here for sale, and we'll keep reminding you as the time gets closer. Welcome, brothers. It's so good to have you being part of our experience this morning. Let's give him another round of applause. Now, if you're interested in playing the drums or playing the guitar, kind of in the back of your mind, you'd like to do something like that, then every Sunday afternoon at 2, we have an opportunity for you to learn how. Okay, so just come on along, and if you feel afraid at first, just come and watch. Right? We have someone teaching us how to play drums, how to play the guitar, and of course we have some big plans. We have an amazing, wonderful vision for our music ministry moving forward. So we invite you to come and explore your musical side. Now, this Tuesday, practitioner Tamu Davidson will host a spiritual mind healing service. Her topic is "Me Wounds, Me Blessings, a Journey to Healing." And so we invite you to tune in via Zoom or via YouTube to this very, very exciting topic. And you can look out for the link in your email. Now, we are really, really proud to host our first grief support group here at the temple. It meets on a Tuesday evening from 6 to 7:30, and it's hosted by grief counselor Lorraine Jones, and she's a facilitator of this wonderful discussion program around navigating grief. And so we invite that you circulate this to your friends, to your loved ones, and invite them to come along, okay? Now, on Thursday evenings at 7, we have an exciting new book study based on the book, The Prospering Power of Love by Catherine Ponder. And Reverend Sonia Davidson, practitioner Steve Golding, and Sheena Robinson will be facilitating. Their combined knowledge of truth will augur well for this the exploration of this book, and is filled with affirmations and practical approaches to abundant living. So we have a few books available, gifted to us by Sheena, and so we invite you to give us a call, get hold of your book. We only have 5 books left, Reverend Ann. Okay, thank you for that. So talk to Reverend Ann to make sure you secure your book for class on Thursdays at 7, The Prospering Power of Love. Have you got your tickets for Fun Day yet? Who hasn't got tickets for Fun Day? We need to have you speak to Practice Jennifer to secure your tickets for Fun Day. The deadline is the 25th. That's this Wednesday. And it's for a wonderful trip to a place called Conoco Falls in Ocherius. I've never been. I know Dunn's River, but I don't know Conoco Falls, and I want to know what it is about. So we invite you to give the temple a call or speak to Jennifer after service and register your intent. The cost is $8,700 for adults and $6,500 for children under 12. And this includes transportation, food, and entry to the park. So we invite you to just take this opportunity to chill with our spiritual family, with your family and friends at this wonderful piece of God's paradise. Now, we thank you for your generosity and for helping us to be a beacon of light in the world. We have new arrangements for your financial gifts to the Temple of Light to support our ministry. If you just click on donate.templeoflightcsl.org, you will get the instructions as to how you can make your contribution. And so we thank you all, as together we support a world that works for everyone. Prayer support is available with Reverend Michelle at prayer.templeoflightcsl.org. And this morning, Reverend Michael Record is available to pray with you immediately following our Sunday service. And for those that are not in the sanctuary, you can call 876-289-0907. Remember, there is practitioner assistance as well for grief support and counseling. And you can call 876-927-6145. And remember that our QR code is available. I think there's a little card that is available at the usher's desk. And you can scan the code to access the program so you can participate more easily in our service. Okay, that's our announcements for this morning, and we invite you now to stand for our prayer of our center. The Temple of Light, Center for Spiritual Living, is a sacred field embodying our spiritual community from which the Christ peace, love, and joy emanate. To touch, to heal, to bless, to prosper, and to liberate anyone who comes into contact with it in any way. The light of the Christ illumines us, our center, and our environment. Our spiritual community is filled with and surrounded by the presence of God and is growing from strength to strength. The power of God expands our consciousness of truth, guiding us ceaselessly along the paths of wisdom, spiritual growth, unfoldment, and attainment. We are blessed, and to God be the honor and glory forever. And so it is. Remain standing. We're going to sing our praise song. Thank you, friends. Please be seated. And now we will have two affirmative prayers. The first of love. And I'd just like us to just enfold our global family as we pray. Let us recognize God as love, that infinite presence and power that birthed us out of itself and declared that we are one, we are love, we are all that God is. And in this consciousness, I speak this word of love for our global family at this time, knowing that at the center of every country, at the center of the heart of every leader, is the heart and the expression of love, the expression of God as love. And this is a love that binds us all together in cords of everlasting harmony. And so we allow our own consciousness to focus on this experience of love, in spite of what might be swirling around about war or talk of war. We just know that God is all there is. And we declare this presence and power in our experience now. And so we give thanks for this presence of love, for its healing, for its uplifting, for the understanding that there's just the sweetness and the beauty of love. And we allow that to just permeate in every circumstance. I release these words and just know that they are now fulfilled perfectly, joyfully. And I declare that this is so. And so it is. So we sing, God is love. His love, that love surrounds me. In that love I safely dwell. 'Tis above, beneath, within me. Love is mine, and all is well. God is love, pure love. God is love, sweet love. That love is mine, and all is well. An affirmative prayer of oneness. And so we are created as individual expressions of God. We're created out of love. But we're created as one. We're created as that's this one human family. And so while we look different, we express differently, we are separated by country, by circumstance, we know that at the heart of our being is that one life, that one presence, that one power that we know as God. So we declare that oneness is now our experience. We are truly our brother's keeper. As we allow Spirit to guide us in how we serve, how we give, how we embrace others who seem different from who we are, but we know we're just the one expressing as the many. And we're grateful for this realization. And so in the spirit of gratitude, in the spirit of knowing that we truly are one in all things, I release these words and just affirm the oneness of spirit expressing in through and as each of us now. And knowing that this presence just expresses across the globe and all is well. I give thanks that this is so now, and so it is. God is one, that one surrounds me. In that one I safely dwell. 'Tis above, beneath, within me. God is mine, and all is well. God is one, pure one. God is one, sweet one. That one is mine, and all is well. And so it is. So let's stand together now and sing our first hymn, Life is for Living. 117, there. Life is for living. Whatever you will live for, you will give. Life is for giving. Whatever you will give to life will give. Life is for doing, for living, giving, doing, learning how. Life is for you and life is for me. Life is for living now. Life is for loving. Whatever you will love, you love is yours. Life is for sharing. Whatever you will share with others grows. Life is for being, for loving, sharing, being, learning all. Life is for you and life is for me. Life is for living now. Thank you, friends. Please be seated. Our speaker this morning is a licensed religious science practitioner committed in service to the spiritual community. As director on the Leadership Council of the Temple's Board of Trustees, coordinator of the Usher Corps, and numerous other roles, including maximum ticket seller. Professionally, she is a marketing advisor and coach for Spectra Healthcare Management Limited and is a senior consultant for VCR Consulting Group, Lee Hecht Harrison Caribbean affiliate in Jamaica. She supports her alma mater, Excelsior High School, by providing coaching and mentoring to high school students. Her personal mantra is helping others to help themselves. Friends, put your hands together and help me welcome our speaker this morning, Jennifer Livingstone.
Wow. Good morning, friends. Grand rising all, yes. Let me also add my own words of welcome to all of you in the sanctuary and those tuned into this service on our live stream. And a very special welcome to our guests this morning, Father Holong and the Brothers of the Poor. Welcome. Yes. It is a joy for me to be sharing with you this morning from this capacity as speaker on this Practitioner Sunday. And I want to thank Sandy for setting the stage with those beautiful affirmative prayers. Thank you, Sandy. And as we continue our theme for the month in Living Color, today my talk is entitled, And We're Still Together. Now, right off the bat, when I saw this topic, the thing that came to my mind first was a line from a Valentine's Day card that was given to me by my husband, Carl, sometime back in 2021. Now, he has a habit of putting my name at the top of the words in the card, so it speaks directly to me, and he does it with every card. And in this one in particular, there was this line that read, Jennifer, despite our ups and downs, we are still together, and that's what counts. Those words touched me to the core and had me tearing up, for we have had our fair share of ups and downs, and acknowledging that is not always easy. In fact, I can recall that last year between January and May, I knew what it was like to be really feeling down. I had a series of losses of my loved ones, starting with my sister in January, my good friend from high school mother in March, who was my adopted mother, and then my own mother-in-law in May. I asked myself, what was going on, losing a loved one every other month and trying to hold it together for myself, for my family, and for my friend, when all I was feeling was things are falling apart. Then in the midst of having to deal with my sister, having to deal with and in the midst of all that, having to deal with some feedback that was little less than complimentary at the time when my sister had just passed. And although it wasn't known to the person providing the feedback, and they were very apologetic, and I was grateful for that when they found out, I had to deal with these emotions that I was feeling while being so low. Friends, just sharing these experiences now, I can recall the emotions I felt back then. And I can hear me telling myself, you need to get your act together. And I did. I used my experience of loss to become trained as a grief facilitator for CSL. And I encourage anyone who is experiencing loss to avail themselves of the program here at the center on Tuesday evenings at 6, which I participate in when I'm able to. But I also do provide services to individuals who request one-to-one sessions here at the temple. And I know that each one of you can relate to this or some such similar situations in your life, right? And oh, by the way, I started out talking about a card, right? Well, I still tear up every time I open one of his cards because the words always speak volumes. Friends, I share these experiences with you because today I want us to explore the power of vulnerability and connection that comes from us being together. Thich Nhat Hanh, well-known peace activist and Vietnamese Buddhist monk, states, and I quote, "Vulnerability is the gateway to compassion and understanding. For many of us, vulnerability can be uncomfortable and challenging. Being vulnerable means being open and honest about our true feelings, fears, and experiences, even when it may seem risky to do so. In fact, if we do not express our truth, we often experience separation from others. And this is demonstrated in this article that I came across by Laura Click, who shared it on her Make It Brave podcast entitled The Bravery of Vulnerability. And I'm paraphrasing here. It says, 3 years ago, Laura and her husband, Garth, were in the midst of IVF, that's in vitro fertilization. They had struggled for years to have a baby, and after her husband was diagnosed with cancer, they went to a fertility clinic to get help. At the time, Laura said she felt broken and worn out from dealing with both cancer and infertility over the past year. So in order to cope, they retreated to being by themselves during this period. They didn't see friends. They didn't go out much. They stayed at home in their safe cocoon. And Laura finally said she had had enough. And she realized that they needed to do something to quit focusing so much on themselves. So they went to a volunteer day at their church. Sounds familiar? And there they met a wonderful couple, Bob and Dale, who they connected with instantly. The couple was so energetic, and Laura said she knew she needed more of that positive energy in her life. So she decided to attend Dale's women's group that she was hosting at her home. Laura says she remembers feeling nervous walking up to Dale's house because she knew that she wouldn't know anyone there. But that night, the conversation was around vulnerability. And Dale showed a short video clip from Dr. Brené Brown on empathy versus sympathy. And you want to check that out, it's on YouTube. And then following which they had a discussion. To her surprise, during the discussion, Laura said she found herself sharing her story of infertility with 40 women that she didn't know. However, at the end of the night, 2 different women came up to her to share that they had also experienced infertility. Even though their experiences were different, it was comforting to connect with others who had been through something similar. And I'm sure we can relate to that. You see, friends, powerful healing takes place when we have the courage to accept vulnerability and our intuition can guide us to initiate and engage in difficult conversations. Our founder, Dr. Ernest Holmes, in the Science of Mind textbook on page 342, reminds us that intuition is God in man, revealing to him the realities of being. Thus, when we are tuned in to this inner guidance, we are always divinely directed. And we all know that we're operating in the one mind. And Reverend Michelle gave us an excellent talk last week on the divine mind. You want to check that out if you weren't here. It's on YouTube. And yet, while we are embracing our vulnerability, we must be mindful that we are not exposing ourselves to harm. Establishing boundaries for persons who have done us harm or any kind of abuse is not a sign of weakness, but a necessary step in maintaining our well-being. Setting boundaries also allows us to create a safe space in which we can engage in meaningful dialogue without compromising our safety or dignity. Often during those most difficult times in our lives, what we fail to see is that vulnerability is bravery. Being willing to put yourself out there without control over the response while exposing your emotions for someone else to see, that's bravery. At times, these sharings may open us up to hurtful comments, but holding back also deprives us of meaningful connection. For someone else might have had a similar experience. Strangely enough, when it comes to vulnerability, we applaud it in other people, right? And we think of them as being brave for sharing their stories, but we are often scared to share our own. But one such example of bravery and vulnerability is also recorded in the book of John, verse 11 and 17 to 18. And I'm reading from the New Revised Standard Version. And this is when Jesus, the master teacher, had his encounter with the Samaritan woman at the well. And you will recall the woman said to him, "Sir, you have no bucket, and the well is deep. Where do you get that living water?" And picking up from verse 17, he says, Jesus said, "Go call your husband and come back." To which she replied, "I have no husband." And Jesus said to her, "You are right. You have no husband, for you have had 5 husbands, and the one you have now is not your own. What you have just said is quite true." Yet, despite societal norms and prejudices, the Samaritan woman openly shared her vulnerabilities with Jesus the Christ by allowing him to see into the depth of her personal life. This courageous act of vulnerability led to a transformative encounter that touched the woman's soul and imparted profound spiritual wisdom. Through this conversation, Jesus also revealed his understanding and compassion. And while these examples that I have shared, including that of my own, thus far are of women, vulnerability is also experienced by men. And author Dr. Sean Ginn writes in his best-selling book, The 4 Pivots, Reimagining Justice, Reimagining Ourselves, in exploring pivot 2, which is from transactional to transformative, has a whole chapter on vulnerability. And I'll share with you from the section which says Black men and vulnerability, and it reads, "I really never learned to be vulnerable. My Uncle Kenny and my father were forged from the idea that vulnerability was weakness, and men didn't have time to share what was in their hearts. But when I dig deeper, I realize that vulnerability looks and sounds different among Black men. Vulnerability is not just emotional disclosure and risk-taking. For us, vulnerability is being there for each other when things get really hard, or just listening to each other over a beer. When Black men are vulnerable with each other and truly sharing our emotions, it might be disguised as laughing at a good joke, pauses of silence, or a tender response like, "I really feel you, man." There's more in the section, and if you have an opportunity, I encourage you to have a read of that book to find out. So you see that men too do express their vulnerability, even while masking it as bravery. It is part of the norm for us. Even when raising our boys, we tell them not to cry, for that is a sign of weakness. However, for most men to share their stories, you have to earn their trust and the right to hear it. Which now brings me to your assignment. Our former senior minister would normally give an assignment, and so today I am going to give you an assignment. And he would normally say, your assignment, should you choose to undertake it, is for you to find some time this evening, some quiet time, where you can recall your own stories that make you feel vulnerable. Visualize yourself having the conversation around the situation. Tell yourself that it's okay to share. It is safe for you to do so. And feel the weight of the situation becoming easier, less burdensome, and see the outcome exactly as you would like for it to be. When you find yourselves feeling vulnerable around sharing anything, focus on your breath. It will help you to stay calm, remind you of the love within you, and anchor you in the present moment, all while giving you confidence to face the uncomfortable conversation. And I'm going to share with you an affirmation that you can use after you've had this quiet time with yourself. And I'll read it once and you can say it after me. It is okay for me to share. I am safe, secure, and surrounded by love. I'll say it again together. It is okay for me to share. I am safe, secure, and surrounded by love. Let's try it again. It is okay for me to share. I am safe, secure, and surrounded by love. Yes. Yes, friends, as we embrace our vulnerabilities and allow ourselves to express compassion and understanding, we are called to consider the following. 1, when I share my stories with others, I create the opportunity to connect with those who share a similar experience. 2, when I do the brave work of being vulnerable, I give people the chance to feel empathy and belonging. And 3, being vulnerable means I am willing to embrace my imperfections and know the challenges in my life is what makes me human. So in closing, my question to you this morning is, what would happen if you started being more vulnerable at work or with your friends and loved ones, or right here in our spiritual community? Not saying that you need to make every life challenge public news or put it out on social media, but what if you were a little more honest about how you're feeling or what is happening in your life? When you do this, you are inviting others to do the same with you. You're giving other people permission to be vulnerable too, and that brings us together. Friends, that is a gift, and I invite you to share this gift. Thank you for sharing this time with me. And now here endeth the lesson, now begins the practice. Namaste.
Let's give her another round of applause. Thank you, Jennifer. It really is not easy to be vulnerable, and there's bravery. I mean, for one to share what's in your heart. does take a level of bravery. But then we also give, as Marianne Williamson says, we give other people permission to do the same. And we all are, we tend to have one story. So sometimes there's that one person who is just, keeping it closed until they hear you. And then it gives them that opportunity to share. Thank you again, Jen. And now we're going to have the blessing of a beautiful voice. Deandra Suku, who's going to share her talent with us this morning. Thank you, Deandra.
Good morning, Temple family. Please forgive me, I always have my phone. The song I'm going to sing is a popular one, so if you feel moved, please join in. My Jesus, my Savior, Lord, there is none like you. All of my days, I want to praise the wonders of your mighty love. My comfort, my shelter, tower of refuge and strength, let every breath, all that I am, never cease to worship you. Shout to the Lord, all the earth, let us sing. Tower of majesty, praise to the King. Mountains bow down and the sea will roar at the sound of your name. I sing for joy at the work of your hands. Forever I love you, forever I stand. Nothing compares to the promise I have in you. My Jesus, my Savior, Lord, there is none like you. All of my days, I want to praise the wonders of your mighty love. My comfort, my shelter, tower of refuge and strength, let every breath, all that I am, never cease to worship you.
Wow. Sweet, clear, crystal clear. Thank you so much, Sandra. And now we're going to ask you to stand as we do our prayer for Jamaica. Together. The radiant light of God's love is now flowing through us and from us to everything and everyone it touches. The eternal light of God's love now completely fills, covers, and surrounds our island Jamaica. The glowing intensity of the light of God's love now interpenetrates and awakens within our hearts and minds the truths of life which set free. The light of God's love is growing and glowing in intensity in the hearts and minds of mankind everywhere. Love, health, harmony, goodwill, peace, uprightness, integrity, joy, prosperity, kindness, and our oneness under God are now established. And so it is. Let's stay standing as we do our love offering blessing, and then after which we will sing our song, This Is You, and then we invite you to come forward to, put your envelope in the boxes in the front. Okay, so we say the blessing first. Lovingly I give, joyfully I receive. Be thou fruitful, increase and multiply. Bless, prosper, and enrich everyone whom you touch, and replenish all of my financial affairs. So be it. Thank you, Father, and so it is. And this is one of our favorite songs, This Is You. How marvelous, how wonderful the universal love has manifested in you and me. I look at you and see you, a potential there. This is the real you in reality. So let the infinite love shine through. This is you, really you. Beneath the surface, the heart of you. We've no longer to know that it's true. How marvelous, how wonderful the universal love has manifested in you and me. When happenings are negative, when everything seems wrong, remember that your attitude's the key. Deliberately and bring to mind the thoughts of harmony. It's will reflect into your life you'll see. So let the infinite love shine through. This is you, really you. Beneath the surface, the heart of you. Wait no longer to know that it's true. How marvelous, how wonderful the universal love has manifested in you and me. The peace of God is not found in essence in our hearts. So let's discover God within us all. This is the way to peace among the nations of the earth. Just know God is living in us all. So let the infinite love shine through. This is Really, believe God's love is the heart of you. Wait no longer to know that it's true. How marvelous, how wonderful, the universal love has manifested here in you and me. And so it is. Please be seated. Friends, we'd like to thank this morning Sean for our beautiful flowers, our wonderful emerging florist, Sean. Thank you so much. We thank our musicians. We thank Ordale, Garvin on bass, and Jordan on drums. I mean, as we said, big things going on in the music ministry. Awesome. This morning we thank, and Deandra. Whew. Yes. We'd also like to thank our ushers this morning, Angela, and I saw Yvonne Chang Oliver as well at that door. Our tech team, Vance and Lauren and Chevany, Tyrell, and Christine, and all of those of us who helped to make this morning's service an amazing success. And our hospitality team. I'm not going to forget the little refreshment after services, every Sunday morning. So we are grateful for that. Thank you all so much for making our Sunday morning service the richness and awesomeness that it is. And I'm now going to, please don't forget to like us on our YouTube channel, like and subscribe, so that we can grow and expand and continue to be a beacon of light in the world. And now I'm going to invite Jennifer to come back and do our closing affirmative prayer and the blessing of our gifts.
Thank you, Sandy. So as we take that journey within, we give thanks, recognizing that presence and power, that which brought us into being and created each one of us out of itself and called it good. We give thanks to God for the gifts that has poured into the center this morning. We know that for each person that has allowed themselves to be a giver of time, of talent, of treasure, I know that these gifts now continue to expand the work of this ministry. And so I know that each person is blessed as they give, so must they receive. Blessings pressed down, shaken together, and running over. It's now poured into our bosoms. And so we give thanks for this coming together this morning, for this experience of which we call a Sunday morning service. I know that for each person that allowed themselves to be fully present in this morning's experience, that they go from this place taking with them this consciousness, knowing that it is safe for us to share and it is okay for us to be vulnerable, because indeed we are supported and surrounded by love. And so as we go through this week, we take this consciousness of love with us into our homes, into our workplaces. Everywhere we go, we spread this feeling of love and harmony. We give thanks for each other. We give thanks for coming together and feeling the fullness of this faith. I lovingly release this word to law, giving thanks that all this is already so, and together we affirm. So it is. And now we'll come and join together with our peace song.
Good.